So the first official session for the 2023 World Endurance Championship has now been completed, and we finally got our first look at the new Hypercars for this upcoming season. So this is my quick report on the WEC Prologue session for the Hypercar class. Over the weekend of March 11th and 12th, the 7 Hypercars made their way onto the track for an organized session. If this event is unfamiliar to you, this is the WEC Prologue, which is essentially the introductory session to the WEC. It takes place in the US state of Florida at the Sebring International Raceway, just about a week before the first round of the season. This prologue allows teams to test their entries so they can get ready before the first race weekend begins, with practice, qualifying, and then the race. This also allows us to see the Hypercars along with the other 2 classes of LMP2 and GTE-AM on track in an official WEC session. What's so significant about this year's prologue sessions versus the previous prologue sessions of Hypercar is for the very first time, and I mean the first time, we get to see the LMH prototypes and LMDH prototypes participate on the same tarmac at the exact same time. In the previous 2 seasons of the WEC, we've seen the Le Mans Hypercars out on track, and we saw the LMDH cars make their debut at Daytona, which is in IMSA, just in January of 2023. But this is the first time ever that we get to see these 2 prototypes participate in the same event. So who looked to be the fastest in this Hypercar Prologue, and who was not? Well, it seems Toyota Gazoo Racing is the team to beat. The GR010 topped 3 out of the 4 practice sessions during this weekend. The only session that they did not go fastest was Session 2 on Saturday afternoon, Cadillac setting the fastest time. In the Saturday afternoon session, the number 93 Peugeot 9X8 Hypercar had a big crash. They collided with the Vector Sport LMP2 entry. In the following session on Sunday, the number 51 Ferrari crashed. Because of their incidents, both the Peugeot and the Ferrari had to spend a lot of time getting repairs, which meant they had insufficient time to test compared to the other entries. So taking a look at the overall pace, the Toyota number 7 car had the fastest lap time over the 4 sessions, a 148.208 set by Jose Mario Lopez in the first session. Cadillac had the 3rd fastest time, followed by the 2 Porsches in 4th and 5th. Then came the Ferraris and the Peugeots, and finally Van Wall and Glickenhaus. Remember that this is only testing, so we could see completely different lap times from the Hypercars during qualifying at Sebring. As for overall laps completed, Toyota has topped that too. The number 8 car has completed 301 laps, and the number 7 is not far off. From 3rd to 7th, the cars have completed a similar amount of laps. As for the 708 Glickenhaus and the number 4 Van Wall, both cars don't have the same amount of laps completed as the others. And then sitting down in 10th and 11th on the most completed laps is Peugeot's number 93 car and Ferrari's number 51 car. And the reason why they are so down on laps completed is because of those incidents they had. Both cars needed repairs, especially the number 51 Ferrari, which was actually in the pits throughout the entire 4th session. So judging by the prologue session, what can we expect from the Hypercar grid for this weekend's 1,000 miles of Sebring? Since it is a new team, I expect Van Wall will be towards the back of the field. At the end of the day, it is a brand new car. It's making its debut here at Sebring. The car does seem to have potential. In the 3rd session, Van Wall driver Tom Dillman set a 150.038 that was only a few tenths down off of the number 93 Peugeot. As for Glickenhaus, the times weren't super competitive compared to the Peugeots, the Ferraris, and even the Porsches. However, I believe that SCG hasn't shown their true pace just yet. If we go back to 2022, the Glickenhaus 708 car set a 148.7 during the qualifying session. So I wouldn't take anything from the prologue. I'm pretty sure Glickenhaus is going to be up there during the weekend of practice, qualifying, and then the official race as well. So what about the others? Well, Peugeot, Ferrari, Cadillac, and Porsche's pace implies that they are relatively on the same path of pace. Toyota seems to be a little bit of a step ahead compared to the others, but I believe there's manufacturers hiding their pace, such as Cadillac and Porsche. I think it's going to be an incredible weekend. I think these 7 manufacturers will show that the hypercar class is the start of a new golden age. While Toyota looks quick in testing, as the name implies, it's just testing, so who knows what could happen during the weekend of the first round at Sebring. So there you have it. The prologue for the World Endurance Championship in 2023 is now complete. And finally, we get our first glimpse of the LMH and LMDH prototypes on the same part of tarmac before the season kicks off at Sebring for round 1. In your opinion, which teams will be fighting at the top of the field at this weekend's 1,000 miles of Sebring? As always, do let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. If you're interested in endurance racing and you want to get updates on the WEC and IMSA, make sure to subscribe to the left. And if you want to see more videos, watch one of the suggested options to the right of your screen. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.